Welcome back to our special series on success and living our dream life. In the last two videos, we've come to understand why we must pursue our ambitions and our dream life. One, because, hey, it's really already guaranteed if only we keep focusing on it. Second, because there's no reason why we shouldn't, since the pursuing of a bigger goal, our dream life, is actually the path for our true life purpose here, which is more fulfillment, more healing, and more consciousness evolution. In this video, we are going to look at this one formula that I crowned it the formula to a truly successful life. But before I get into that, let me tell you a little story. So when I buy a new pair of shoes, especially with high heels, I would go to this shoe man to have it transformed a little bit so that it's a lot more comfortable to walk in. This shoe man has a small shop in the city center where all these fancy office buildings are located. And let me tell you, he has a booming business. And when I say he has a booming business, I mean he makes over 1,000 RMB every day, which is about $130 a day. You can do the math, how much he makes in a month with the usual 22 work days. Now, why this is fascinating to me? I have loved studying people who are thriving, or let's call it a truly successful life. And I love to understand what makes them live a thriving life. And to me, this shoe man is someone who's thriving. Let's look at this. First, he's doing what he loves to do. Even though his work may not be as glamorous as you think, he doesn't care. You can just tell he's so into it, like creating arts when he works on the shoes. And second, he's like a shoe fixing genius. He just had this way of feeling through the shoes, make old shoes look so brand new and wonderful, and so comfortable to wear. Third, he's making great money easily. Not only people are automatically drawn to him, like myself, I recommend him to everyone, but also many of the ladies working in the office buildings sometimes just generously drop more money than he would even ask for because they love the quality of the work he does so much and they're willing to pay him more. Now you understand, I'm not saying that we should all do this type of work. What I am saying is people who are truly thriving follow some principles, whether consciously or unconsciously. No matter what they do, they have their own version of success and thriving. In this case, this shoe man thrives in his own chosen work. And we also know others who are paid at the rate of millions a day. They follow the same principles. Let's look at it backward this time to understand these principles better. First, why they're paid millions a day. Because they can deliver that much value to the people who are paying them. Meaning, to those who are paying, this $1 million service must make a great contribution to their life or business. Second, how they are able to deliver that much value? Well, mostly they're not born with that whole capacity as a baby, not even once they grow up. So it doesn't take much to figure out that they must have kept on learning and improving and polishing their service, their crafts, their skills, their knowledge, their experiences non-stop until they reach this excellence that people can see and value so much. Third, how can they keep on learning, keep on improving and polishing their crafts? Don't they feel it's hard work? You probably know the answer. The answer is no. They love it. They never feel they can get enough of it. So learning about it, polishing it to them is pure joy. And you know what? It's because we humans have this fundamental mechanism. We naturally move towards what we associate with pleasure, such as joy. Like we all want to eat delicious food. And we naturally move away from what we consider pain, such as shame, sadness, etc. Along with this, there are a few basic and important concepts that we need to understand as well about how success and money works in our world, so that we can have clarity to go about creating the thriving life we all deserve. Clarity is such power. Concept number 1, making money is about value exchange. Which simply puts, If you want to make more money, you must provide more value that others are willing to pay you for. And not only we need to make sure we receive the money we deserve. That's about self-worth and self-respect. A lot of us need to heal that. But also on the flip side, we also want to make sure that the value we provide is deserving the money we receive. Otherwise, it's not a good feeling and it won't last anyway. That's again built in these principles we just talked about. These truly successful people deserve the money because they put in so much of their energy, their time, and their mental capacity, even their amazing attitudes to serve and care about their clients in order to make sure they deliver the value. Everyone who has long-term success knows that and does that. Concept number 2. Self-education lies in the heart of true success. You probably already saw this. Self-education is the central power system for their continuous success. The truly successful people self-educate themselves all the time. It's just they love the whole thing so much that they never feel like it's a big deal. They love self-education because they love what they do and they just naturally want to learn more and understand more about what they do. Again, it's in our automatic mechanism of seeking more joy. Concept number 3. Life is like a little game in a little wonderland. Instead of thinking about making money, which is heavy and severely traumatic, think that life on earth is like a little wonderland of games and adventures. That's indeed the spiritual truth of life on earth. Meaning, this is a time and space for adventures in a way. It's like an illusion from our soul perspective. So in this game of wonderland, we are all put here to provide each other our unique service and value so that we can all have a fun life, have different experiences that we cannot create all by ourselves. Money is just an exchange tool so that we don't need to exchange a cow for a bucket of rice, like in the ancient times, right? Now let's put this together. These people who are truly thriving are 1. Doing what they love to do. 2. Loving it so much that they can't get enough of doing it, and naturally they get even better and better at it. 3. Their excellence at what they do means high value for anyone who wants their service. Can you see? That is exactly what I call the formula to true success. As we talked of in our last video, true success is a life of inner fulfillment and outer money freedom. So that means not only we receive great reward in the form of money for what we do, but also we feel deeply satisfied and happy because it's something we choose to do, not what we have to do in order to make a living. And when you are living this life of true success, you are living your mission and you are doing what you came to do, which is your life's work. And your work is naturally a great contribution to others and to humanity. One more thing you'll notice is people just love you and adore you for doing what you do. You see, even though we all share the same fundamental life purpose of healing and consciousness evolution, there are chosen themes and qualities for each one of us to express during this process on Earth. Therefore, it's like we've already designed before we come in that we will do a certain type of work that just feels like breathing to us. So natural, so easy, and at the same time, we just love it so much that we can't stop doing it. And therefore, we naturally get more and more excellent at it. That is something we are here to thrive in. That's our life's work. It doesn't matter if that's being a shoeman or being a salesperson or being a CEO or being an entrepreneur or being a staying-home father or being a spiritual healer. Whatever that is, we all have that combination. That's our sweet spot, our genius zone, our mission, and our life's work here. The crucial task at hand at this time in the history of humanity, this consciousness awakening age, is that all of us really begin to find out what we are here to do, our mission, and step into it so that we can truly live a thriving life on Earth while reaping growth and expansion in our consciousness. So why most of us don't know how to live a thriving life? For too long on earth, we've been programmed to live like a modern version of slave. This may sound harsh, but I mean it in the most compassionate way. We feel like we have to do something we don't enjoy just to make a living. In other words, to survive. That's just so wrong. The reason most of us are living like this is because we're not told other possibilities since we were born. In other words, the conditioning. We get passed on the same information of being a good cog in the system. We're told to have a better education so that we can get a better job, have a better pay, and even get a higher pension when we retire. Doesn't that sound depressing and just off? All of that only points at one thing, to keep us at survival mode, not thriving. Nothing in that is about honoring ourselves as a precious human being with a beautiful spirit waiting to be tapped in and unleashed. It doesn't consider what we truly love from within, but rather only measure what can get us a little more money. It doesn't consider what unique and powerful gifts we have brought in when we are born that we can offer to the world if only we are guided to water that gift and let it grow into a strong life force. That's why whenever I get a chance, I tell people don't ever be discouraged if you didn't get higher education, because it really means less than you give it the meaning. It's the spirit you have within that wants a better life, a greater way of living, that will get you much, much further than anything, because everything you need for you to truly succeed and thrive is already within you. That's why whenever there's a chance, I would tell those who are parents, don't ever tell your kids to do this, to do that, learn this, study that, because you're only drilling this powerful spirit in little human form for their own inner guidance, their own testing and discovering along the way, which is essential for their own thriving as they grow into a big person. That's also why I urge all of you, no matter what age you are in, it's never too late as long as you're still breathing. Begin now, reconnect with your inner guidance, rediscover your unique gifts and personal traits, re-understand the energy you are here to share with the world, because you are here to thrive this lifetime with all that uniqueness about you, because nothing else is worth living once you know how glorious life can be when you are truly thriving. And I'm living proof, and I'm not only speaking from my own heart and soul, but also from all those people I study about who are thriving in such beautiful ways in the world. And there's only one way for you to do that. That is through you finding your mission and your life's work and living it. It's a process of rebirthing the new you that's not only going to thrive gloriously and joyfully, but also you will bring the world that unique, beautiful service and contribution that only you can bring. One last thing, your thriving is the biggest contribution to the world, because the more people live a truly thriving life, the more all others will find it possible for them as well. Therefore, if you are a parent and you want your kids to live a wonderful life, you yourself must choose thriving now, because your own example speaks louder than any words you teach them. And plus, I can assure you that you will have way more valuable life lessons and wisdom to teach your kids as you truly step onto the path of thriving. And if you love your family and your partner and you want them to thrive, choose thriving yourself now. That's the most effective and also the most powerful way to help them thrive as well. Lead by your own example. I wish you the most thriving life, and I'm here to support you along the way in the unfolding of your glorious rebirthing journey.